Welcome everyone to the touhou 1cc guide series. We are on the last two sections. In this section we are going to look at the stage 5 touhou 6. This is one of the more difficult boss fights, but not the stage. The stage is actually pretty easy. It's actually also one of the shorter stages of touhou 6. So, without further ado, let's look at those bullet patterns, shall we? Here we go, normal mode, spirit homing amulet, same shot time, same difficulty. Here we go. Now, at the beginning here, we have these two fairies that are going to spawn. These fairies are recurring enemies in this stage. There's also a few variants of them. Next, we have those fairies that come from the sides and shoot barrages of rice bullets downward. And now they are combined. And we want to dodge to one of two sides of the bullets that are coming down. And we want to dodge to the side where there is a bigger gap, basically. So we have more freedom of movement. I see there is less bullet density on the one side and I move to the other side, and so on. Now, this is a variation of the fairy. This is basically the same, just wait a bit and move to one side. And next, we have these fairies that shoot small walls of bullets in these waves, basically. If the RNG is bad, they can wall you off. But normally that doesn't happen, so you will find a gap, hopefully. Let's see. You can see I managed to get through, but sometimes it's way more difficult. So, here is Sakuya, the first taste we are going to get of her. This non-spell is pretty stiff. You have to dodge it the same way every time. There is this pattern to it, where you move up, then you go to one side and then a gap opens you, so you can rinse and repeat. This spell card, everything is aimed. Move slowly away from everything and you will be fine. The homing shot will take down the spell card in a reasonable time, so you get the 1-up that she drops. It is actually really helpful. So, next you want to move to the right side. You can see, by being on the right side here, I shoot down the fairies that come from the right side right away. You can see the kunai and every other bullet, they make a wave and there a gap, you can see there, a gap forms. And for this last section, everything is aimed again. So just step away and you will be fine. And that's the stage portion of stage 5, which is actually technically really simple in comparison to, let's say, stage 4, for example, where everything, the movement is way more important than here. But to compensate, we have Sakuya, which is a really hard boss. The last spell cards, it's a bit like mailing. The last spell cards are really random and you can get screwed over really easily. So, let's look at the first non-spell here, which looks actually pretty scary, but there should be always a gap you can get through. You don't want to push upwards too much and rather stay lower on the screen here and find your gaps down here. Then I like to move upwards when the purple knives come down, so I can get extra damage in, like this. And by being on that gap that's really straight, you can move upwards without too much problems of having to correct your movement upwards and colliding with a knife that comes down, because they move really straight. So, this first spell card, first time we see her gimmick, time stop. She's going to stop time when she throws out her bullets, and your character will be unable to move. But this first spell card is actually pretty simple, so let's see that. So you want to stay pretty much somewhat in the middle of the screen, and then you want to move to the side like this, and every knife makes this weird crisscross movement. You want to move on the side here, and that's your gap you want to move through. Rinse and repeat, and watch out for the rice bullets, and you'll be fine. Now, this non-spell, you have those bouncing wall bullets. This one is pretty rough, but you can see if you get cornered on the sides, you just have to move in the direction with the bullets, how they are going. And if you are not in a collision path with a bullet that comes from the other side, you can slowly move away from the walls that come from the sides, and you then have to choose a escape route you have to do. That's that non-spell. Now for this spell card, we have the first instance of the knives that change color. This can get like that, where you try to get through a gap and it completely walls you off and cages you in. I don't exactly know how the best way to move through here is, but from experience I can say that moving to the side is a better option than staying in the middle. Now we have this non-spell. Here the most critical part is avoiding crisscrossing knives. Like this, you have 3 at once. You can see you get completely overwhelmed if you have to dodge 3 crisscrossing knife patterns at once. For the last pattern, she shoots this cluster of knives. We have blue knives, green knives, and red knives. Blue knives stay the same, green knives, they change direction, and then we have red knives. They home on you in the next throw out of the next spell card. You can see the red knives, they turn around, and you have this knife here which just goes on an adventure and tries to kill you. You see those green knives from behind? Those were originally red knives that turned green, and they change direction and try to get you. Now, this spell, there is not much you can do about this, honestly. You have to look everywhere. You have to look behind you. You have to look in front of you, to the sides. You have so much bullets going in every direction. It's insane. The best bet for that would honestly be to bomb, because if you have bombs, you should probably use them in that situation. I was in there, but I'm going to repeat it and try to do a better job. I think there is if I make the movement a bit more strategized, I can get through Sakuya way better. So let's do that. We can also see stage 5 again. We have the aim bullets, we sidestep, look at the bigger gap, move to that side. You can see here I'm pretty much standing still most of the time, because the bullet density is not really high, so you can get away with not moving a lot. Now we have the fiery variant, but it's pretty much the same. This last section here. There we go. Now the mid boss. The stiff non-spell. And now the spell card that's always aimed. Actually, you can optimize the damage I think by moving the opposite side Sakuya goes to shoot the bullets. Now this is a good spot where the 1-up could drop, because we are immediately on the right side. But again, we can see the wave of kunai that exactly opens up here. And you have a gap to go through. That's why going to one side here is so nice and makes dodging a bit easier than staying in the middle and having to dodge everything from both sides. Last section and fight is pretty easy. So let's try to play Sakuya a bit better here. Just non-spell, don't try to push up much, stay relatively down low on the screen. Try to stay in the middle and chase the boss as much as possible. Just spell card. This is pretty easy. Watch out for the rice bullets. Go to the side and go to this little side gap of the knives. Also, I always... You have to move down unfocused, because the rice bullets are pretty fast. If you stay in focus, there's a good chance they are going to snipe you because you don't move fast enough down. That was scary. But you can see that what I meant before. If you move in the direction of the bullets, you are pretty much safe. Here again, it's good to stay away from the middle somewhat. And here, then try to dodge crisscrossing bullets, or in this case knives. This time we had a much easier pattern there. I'm going to do some wild maneuvers here to get away. Let's see if that works. You see the bouncing knives from the side of the stage? Really hard to comprehend. I'm moving all over the place and barely managing. Look at that. That's super difficult. So again, best bet, just bombed out of it. Well, and that's basically it for stage 5. You have an easy stage and a boss that eats resources like breakfast. That's stage 5 for you. Alright, that's the first section of the next part of the 1cc guide series. Next section will be stage 6, where we are going to tackle the end boss. That's going to be interesting. Alright. I will say goodbye. With you was your host, Lorenzo. And I will see you on stage 5, where we hopefully get through Remilia Scarlet without too much problems. Goodbye.